Veterans reentering civilian life face many challenges, including finding a job. Hi, I'm MONTEL Williams. Welcome to this edition of Military Makeover Operation Career. Today, we're in Utah, the 45th state, a place where pioneers moved mountains for a dream of a better tomorrow. It's here that we're going to focus on the inspirational stories of former servicemen and women who have reinvented themselves and are now thriving at companies that value their unique skills. We recently visited a global company located just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, with an impressive coalition of veterans. Operating in about 35 countries, these extraordinary servicemen and women made a difference for our country and now continue to make a difference for our planet.
Kennecott is a natural fit for veterans because what we're looking for is leadership, discipline, and teamwork. I've been with this company for 20 years. This is an amazing place to work. What we're doing here at Kennecott, we're focusing on the copper production and other critical minerals. Everything that we do, we want to do it with care, courage, and curiosity. Well, this is one of the things that personally, I would say, connected very well with me with Rio was the values. I mean, around safety, but also about caring for our teams, caring for our people, and all the opportunities that you can have within the company. We've got the ambition to make the world a better place. When you think about any kind of renewable energy or electric cars, without copper, you don't have any of this. We make modern life possible. We've got 4 generations of people that work here. We've got people that contributed so much to the country by producing premier American copper. And this is why we think it's a very, very good fit with the values and the pride that we can see from people working here, but also with people who serve in the military. Everything that we do, we know is ultimately to serve the country.
I was in the U.S. Army. I was a 12 Bravo. I served for about 6 years. The biggest fun that you had from the military was just around the relationships you built. A lot of the relationships I've built over the 20 years of working here is very similar to the military. The challenges are similar to the military. The biggest similarities, I would say, is the atmosphere, the relationships you build with people. The challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis are pretty similar. I've been at Rio Tinto for 20 years. I've stayed at Rio Tinto for this long based off of just the opportunities. I started out as an operator in the business, and now I'm an operations manager. It allowed me to go to college. It's provided for my family, and I've built a lot of close relationships, and they're pretty loyal.
My father retired after 27 years in the Air Force. So I was born into the Air Force. And then I joined. Basically, I've been out of the military about a year now. I was in the United States Air Force. I did 27 years. I retired as a Chief Master Sergeant. The military is like a microcosm of society. When I transitioned to be a civilian, it was hard leaving everybody. One of the fascinating things that I saw was there were a lot of similarities between the military and Rio Tinto. At Rio Tinto, they have care, curiosity, and courage. And something that I could translate from the military was the Air Force core values. I'm able to use those every day. I'm a maintenance supervisor, and I have 12 millwrights. And I like to say that we keep things running or we fix things. When I was in the military, you could have, all the machines and everything that you wanted, but if you didn't have the people and the people were motivated and wanted to succeed, then you didn't have anything. Same thing at Rio Tinto. It's all about the people, and really your people determine how successful you're gonna be. And I was recruited by a fellow airman, and I had served with him in Iraq. And then as I got to work with Rio Tinto, I realized that there were more and more veterans, within the workforce. Marines, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, a little bit of everything, whether reserves, guard, active duty, or retirees, many individuals that have served in combat. As you start talking to people, there is a pretty big community of veterans that work within Rio Tinto.
To be honest, it's a bit difficult to transition from being full-time military to going into civilian life. I think a lot of veterans can empathize with that. Some things are overwhelming and just the differences in environments. But for me at Rio Tinto, at least, all of my leaders at the company have been very, very supportive. So I've been in the military for 21 years, all in the Army National Guard. I've been deployed twice, once to Iraq and then once to Qatar. And I'm a major in the field artillery. I definitely consider the group of people I work with right now as a family. I'm the operations manager at the concentrator. We take rock from the pit here, we crush it and pull minerals out of it and send it to the smelter for further processing. We go through a lot together every day. It's a big challenge. We move millions of tons of dirt a year and crush hundreds of thousands of tons a year at the plant I work at. And so we go through a lot of issues together and work through challenges together. And so, you build bonds going through those sorts of things, I lead a team of roughly 70 people. My job is to make sure they have the resources they need to make their lives and their jobs as easy and functional as possible. Kennecott is an amazing, amazing place. This is one of the only sites in the entire world that mines it, crushes it, concentrates it, smelts it, refines it, all in one location. We provide the fundamental minerals and metals that society needs to function. It's a great company. I enjoy it. It keeps me engaged and interested. And there's never a shortage of challenges, and without a challenge here and there for a team to get through, a career can get kind of dull, right? And we don't have those here because we're doing hard stuff. Anybody who's a veteran that's searching for a new career, I definitely advise them to look into Rio Tinto. Absolutely. Many of the elements that make a good team member in a military unit transition and translate directly to being an employee here at Rio Tinto. Teamwork is vital. Just look at this hole behind us. It takes more than one person, obviously, to move that mountain.
My family worked here, I work here, and now my family's here.
I really enjoy this team. It really feels like it's been an easy transition from the military.
All of this won't happen without our people. This is why we need you to join us.
Coming up, we're on site at the Salt Lake-based construction company that's making a big difference with the help of some very impressive veterans. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the expanding company where big ideas meet big opportunities for veterans.
In 1967, D. Livingood had what we call his big idea, and at the time he sold his Volkswagen Bug for $1,000 to start Big D Construction. We just treat our clients and our employees with respect. He was on a mission to find the most sought-after people. We build with truth. We do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. One of the first things that we say with all of our jobs is that we're an open and collaborative environment where we promote individual growth utilizing a team-oriented environment. Here at Big D Construction, we embrace the veteran community. Veterans have the personality and the skill set that fit in very well with our organization. My grandfather served in World War II. My dad served in Vietnam, and just being around them, the intrinsic value that I came to understand that they got in service, it really inspired me from a young age. So I knew quite young that I wanted to go into the service. There's so many moving parts in the military and nobody can accomplish the mission on their own. It was very hard leaving my team, and mostly that had to do with the intrinsic value that I felt serving in the military.
The ideal team for me is, hey, you look out for each other, you support each other, contribute. If you don't contribute, you're not going to last long. So that's part of my job. The project we're standing in right now, this is the Frankie Moss Courthouse. We're going to remodel this entire building. We're doing a seismic upgrade and a historical restoration, both at the same time. The similarities between Big D or construction in general and the military is the stress level. You have to think on your feet, you have to do things safely, you're taking care of your colleagues and coworkers. Well, to be a member of the military it gives you a sense of contribution to the community as I see it, and doing your part. As a kid, I knew I wanted to be in the service and to serve my country, and to get to do that was great. I had a lot of family members that were military, And so to go get to do that and do that overseas, it was a great experience. It was hard leaving the military. You know, I served in 6 years, but at that time I knew I needed to carry on, do something else. This is my 8th general contracting company I've been with. When I came here, you know, we've got competitors in the area, but I think in my time that I've been here 14 years, I think we've risen above our competitors, and I think that's because of the people. I think it's important to take care of your colleagues, your coworkers, and that's what's really important to me is working with the people, getting to know people, and making a successful project.
I do a lot of data engineering, which is setting up a lot of the infrastructure to ingest data and clean it and all that stuff. I'm not one to back down from a challenge. This is a huge challenge, especially with the size Big D. I thrive in those arenas where we have big goals and things that seem impossible, and we're all aligned in accomplishing that. And here you can really feel that they want to support you so that you can get to where you need to get. I was in the Navy for 12 years. I was a Navy SEAL the whole time. I didn't join the SEAL team to go on a million missions or anything like that. What I joined it for was to be on a team. I could have stayed as long as I wanted, to be honest. I would have loved to have stayed there longer, but I had a family that I wanted to take care of. I found Big D through my wife, actually. She's like, oh, hey, I found this job, so you should maybe apply to it. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I put in my resume, I got the phone call, and hey, here I am. I've stayed here at Big D for so long because there's that support, that teamwork, and we have that drive to get what we want done.
They're very supportive of the veterans. Even while I was in the reserves, they were very supportive. So yeah, it's a great company for vets.
I think Big D is truly working towards being at the forefront. They really want that, they're driving it. We are at the leading edge of it, and we're getting closer and closer to where we feel we need to be.
Big D Construction is on a mission to become the most sought after in the business, and that's both by our clients and employees.
Coming up, we're hitting the books to learn more about a military-focused institution dedicated to education. It's time to learn more about a military-focused institution dedicated to educating members of our veteran communities across our great nation.
At Western Governors University, we're military-friendly with an increased military focus on our active duty service members, our veterans, and their families. We are competency-based, which means we allow students to utilize their previous education, previous experience to progress through their education a lot faster. We offer over 60 degrees in bachelor's and the master's level. College of IT, Information Technology, the College of Health Professions, the College of Education, and the College of Business.
I'm still in the Missouri National Guard, based out of Joplin, Missouri, and I'm a specialist. I have about 8 years in. Being a current member of the military, I love it. I love being a part of the family. It's a great place to be. Serving and working it's an interesting thing. I trained in IT through the military. That was kind of my big go-to. I found WGU actually while I was in my military training. One of my instructors was talking about using their military benefits to get an education. I felt like I had support straight from the beginning. You're assigned a program mentor to guide you all the way through, and then there's course mentors for every course. And the competency-based learning is huge because it let me excel at things I was already good at. I like WG's model so much, I did go back for my master's. While I was deployed, I completed most of my master's. Anywhere you have an internet connection, I was able to connect to WGU.
My husband was in the military. He was in the Navy, and then he changed branches of service to become a pilot in the Army. And we were getting ready to leave Texas after being stationed there for about 6 years, and I was pregnant with our second daughter. We found out at my 20-week ultrasound that she had hydrocephalus, and so we had orders to Germany, but they decided she was going to need medical intervention right after she was born. So they gave us the option of Washington, D.C. or Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. And we chose Washington State because I had lived here for a little while as a kid, and I was really excited to get back and be in this weather. She was actually a student at this school, and I started volunteering my time. And I was a parent volunteer, and then I became a substitute paraeducator. Then I got hired as a paraeducator. And after working here for a couple of years, I was frustrated that I didn't have all the tools in my toolkit that I needed when I could see a child struggling with what I was given to work with. And I ultimately decided the best thing for me to do would just be to go back to school and be a teacher. I found WGU, and I really liked that I could do it around my schedule. I could still be a full-time mom. I could still work part-time. I could still be there for everything I needed to be there for. And I could do what I needed to do to grow professionally. At a traditional school, it would have taken me probably 3 years. And I was able to do it in 1 because I had worked in a school and I had so much background knowledge already about a variety of topics.
As a cyber operator, I conduct cyber missions, cyber operations for the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Cybercom. WGU, I think, has gained that popularity, especially, I think, within the military community specifically. With WGU, they take a different approach, right? It's the competency-based approach. While you get your education, you also get certifications. WGU's flexibility within life events is probably the biggest reason why I stuck with them. Taking advantage of that, and I've basically been able to go to the university for a minimal expense, especially when you consider how much standard brick and mortar universities are. WGU has helped me finish my undergraduate degree, has helped me pursue my commission within the U.S. military, which has been a lifelong goal, a career-long goal for me. So I think WGU was critical to making that happen. My family is very supportive. They've had to endure some long nights, with me studying up late. But now, it's been nice to kind of finally achieve that goal.
You can live anywhere and take classes at Western Governors University.
I mean, there are universities here in Olympia that I could have gone to, but for $3,600 for a 6-month term, it was something that I was able to pay for by teaching summer school.
Even though WGU is an online university, it provides the material and gives you a ton of resources to truly know it.
Great to see a place that serves our brave members of the military just as they have served our great country. I'm MONTEL. Thanks so much for joining us in this episode of Military Makeover Operation Career. We'll see you next time.